Everybody, welcome to the Hallmarkies Podcast, and we're really excited today. We are here to talk about the More the Merrier, which is a movie about doctors. And so who would I want to have more? My doctor friend and patron of the podcast, Thaddeus, is here. And Thaddeus, thank you so much.
All right, Merry Christmas, everyone. And thank you for having me back on.
Yeah. So if you did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Overall, I did. Got to spend some time with the family. Unfortunately, I did feel like a little unwell,
Oh, yeah.
um, but thankfully, I was able to recover quickly and still enjoy the time.
Yeah. Well, so we have done a number of podcasts together, particularly talking about older Hallmark movies.
Hmm.
That's a lot of fun. But I don't think that it's been a while since you like introduced yourself. And to the listeners who might miss those episodes, why don't you introduce yourself to the list? Tell us a little bit about what you do as far as your career.
Okay, so good. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yay. Yeah.
Is Thaddeus, and I'm actually a psychiatrist. So I went to medical school and considered a medical doctor, even though not traditional
Mhm.
in some ways. But I'm definitely familiar with that culture and having been to medical school and done those
Yeah.
kind of rotations during my residency training.
So it's the psychologist, that's the PhD,
Yeah,
right? And then the psychiatrist is the MD.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
Very cool. Well, I'll be definitely curious to hear what you think about this movie.
Yeah, definitely. Some There's one particular thing that I really like that I'm going
Oh, good. Yeah.
to
So this movie, it was directed by Peter Benson and writers Caroline Farha and Zach Hugg,
yeah.
and it stars Rachel Boston and Brendan Penny. And it's Alice, an emergency room doctor, volunteers to work Christmas Eve shifts at a rural hospital. During a snowy Christmas, Alice and Brian, a top rated cardiologist, help deliver three baby booms, sparking a lasting bond.
Hmm.
Now, isn't I thought that he was the one that was volunteering. They're making it sound like, I mean, because she works at this ER all the time.
Yes.
He's the one coming in.
Right. So and even in the movie, she always, like, I guess, volunteers to cover the Christmas holiday, um,
Mm,
shift at the hospital. And he is volunteered by his sister to consult on a case with a kid that's come into the emergency department.
mhm. Yeah. I mean, how did you feel about how was it real grown worthy for you as far as how the depiction of an emergency room, or do you think they it was pretty decent or somewhere in between?
Somewhere in between. So I
I
would
think that's
say
fair.
you would expect a bit less, especially in a smaller town with less people there on the holidays, and kind of just having the people, the shift people, and then generally speaking, at that type of hospital, you probably have on-call people who would not be like staying in the hospital on call. They'd have, like, a certain amount of
Sure.
to get to the hospital if they're needed. And then
Hmm.
have a major storm, then you kind of just have to deal with what you have
Yeah.
there at the time.
Hmm.
Um, so I could kind of, you know, I was able to go along with it. I wasn't rolling my eyes the whole time. I,
That's good. Do you have any of the big medical dramas that you think is better than others, or that you like
well,
ER and Grays and all those shows?
to be honest, I didn't really get into Grey's Anatomy, and ER was like I was a little young, but
Mm.
I do think Chicago Med. I've watched that.
Oh, okay.
That they actually do a pretty decent job with,
Hmm.
and so they must have very good medical consultants to kind of create
Hmm.
their episodes and depict the different conditions pretty well.
I've heard that show The Pit is good. That's really accurate. I've never watched it. I've never seen it.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, yeah. I think it has Noah Wiley from ER in
Oh,
there. I think. I could be wrong.
mm,
But yeah, I haven't seen it. But yeah, I mean it's still pretty there was even a couple of things that I was like, this is sometimes feeling a little too businessy for me. Like I was like, I wouldn't have minded them like I could have even made it they could have made it like a little bit silly and a little bit more swoony and a little more like um that I think I might have even wanted them to go a little more like for
mhm.
entertainment's sake.
Yeah, I'll say the thing that I really liked their meet cute and like that first sequence when they kind of figure out who the other is. But
Yeah, at the cookie shop.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But then as the movie went on, um, I was not really feeling drawn into their chemistry, and I wasn't like strongly
Yeah.
rooting for them to get together. I was like, she can go.
Yeah, I mean, and I think there may be part of that is because it's like slightly awkward given that they're working together to
Yes.
build that chemistry is like because you don't want him to seem pervy, you don't want him to seem gross,
Mhm.
and and so I think it's tricky to make that dynamic work,
Mhm.
you know,
Right.
to build the chemistry, to do those swoony scenes without them seeming awkward.
And especially since this is all happening over one day. So
Yeah.
it's even more difficult to like build something over that type of period because a lot of times, they may be going over at least a couple of weeks,
Right, that's
but
true. Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies Podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
basically
But overall, I thought it was a sweet movie. I enjoyed it.
yeah, I'd say so too. And I think they did a good job of like making it feel like a town by having the little sequences with the other people in the community and also like connecting them with the people in the hospital, like having them all kind of know each other and be involved in different ways. And
Yeah.
and so I liked that feeling that you got and really kind of establishing that this is a town of people that knows each other and kind of um, follow what Rachel Boston's character says to Brendan Penny's character, in the movie.
It did make me laugh that they were very careful to always point out the fact that the cookies had the dietary they were very careful about dietary restrictions and
Mhm.
allergies.
Well, and
They
of course,
wanted to be very like
and of course, in the hospital, you would be,
yeah. Which
oh,
I mean it makes sense, but I just thought that was funny. Like anytime the cookies were mentioned.
yeah, yeah, that too. I would,
They're labeled, don't worry. For dietary restrictions.
yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know if it's really that good for medical professionals to be giving out cookies anyway, but
Well, I mean,
you
I
know,
guess we could hand wave that. It's nice to have a little treat every once in a while.
yeah, Christmas. So he's worried that she is going to be distracted with Christmas.
Yes.
And not be a good enough doctor. And I feel like I get that. But especially if it's your sister that's, having a baby, I can understand having a little bit of an anxiety of like, okay, there's a lot of distractions happening here. Let's make sure that we're not getting distracted.
Yeah, exactly. And especially since, she is not an obstetrician, gynecologist, emergency room doctor. Now, of course, an emergency room doctor, sometimes someone comes into the emergency department too far into the pregnancy to go up into, to the maternity ward. And so sometimes the babies are delivered there. So I'm sure that she probably would have had to do that at some point. But still, that's not what she generally is expected to do under normal circumstances. And they did acknowledge that. And they even had that one sequence where he asked, have you ever delivered a baby before? And then she's like, have you?
Yeah. That was good. Yeah, that was good. And we also have Donna
Benedicto.
and Donna Benedicto and
Harry something.
Yeah. So they are waiting for a baby that's the birth mother is committed to them. They're very excited. And I thought everything worked really well. That whole thing was, every time they would go back to them, I was like, oh, I love them. I almost could have had a whole movie just about them.
Oh, definitely.
I thought they were so sweet.
Yeah, I think they had great chemistry. They were very both are very kind of charismatic actors, and
Carrie Feehan, that was the name.
Yes,
her husband.
And,
they were really good. I liked them a lot.
Yeah, so I enjoyed their sections as well, and they had great chemistry.
They did,
and I was interested in them. I wouldn't mind seeing an actual movie about them or even as different characters, those two actors as a couple in a movie. I would not.
Yeah, it's too bad that we couldn't have it be like Cherry Tree Lane, where you have, they did a little bit, but I really, every time they would go back to them, I was just very enjoying it.
Yeah, I agree. I like them a lot.
So what did you think about the element of her getting all these offers and having them, and then he sees it and he's kind of, concerned about that? What did you think of that?
So I could definitely see obviously she's well experienced. She's worked at a lot of different places. It seems like she moves every few years. So she definitely, and probably has a pretty good reputation. She definitely seems to have a very good bedside manner and is very kind of warm person that other people would like. So I could definitely believe that she would have a lot of offers. However, I wouldn't expect her to have them print out.
That's what I was wondering. It would be
there would
formal letters. Like it was an admittance into a college or something like that.
Exactly. College admission letter. Yeah. But, they would all be emails. But I guess they couldn't have it where he's just opening up her email and seeing a bunch of, offer emails from different, from different hospitals. So I guess that was the only way that they could make sense for him to find out about them.
Yeah. It worked for the story, and I think that she would probably be pretty on demand given how dedicated and how much time she spends and how how good she is with the kids and things like that.
Exactly. So I could definitely, and especially if she's going to kind of smaller towns or underserved communities, they are always going to be looking for someone. And if someone's willing to kind of come out and seems to have a good reputation, like I said, definitely not surprised that she got, a lot of offers.
Mm-hmm. Do you know, is this code gray thing, is that a universal thing, or is that just unique to this hospital? Code gray.
So it seems like a lot of hospitals the codes tend to there are certain ones that are like universal, and then there are other ones that tend to change in between. Like for example, code blue, right? Is cardiac arrest. That's kind of
okay. Because code gray was that they were stuck there; they couldn't leave, right? Mm-hmm. I think that they were snowed in. That's code gray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wondered about that. I did like the when they start decorating the tree, and she says, "You make time to decorate trees in life."
Yeah,
which is very true. It's very true. So then his sister is the first one to have the baby,
right? And she's actually the obstetrician. That's why she. That's
right.
But of course, she can't deliver her own babies.
Well, and she doesn't want her brother there. She's like, oh,
yeah, which is understandable. I can understand that.
Yeah. But that her baby was really big.
Yes.
The other two babies were more believable as newborns. Her baby, no.
Which, and you would expect twins to be a little smaller, but that baby was definitely not a newborn. But we suspend our disbelief.
Yeah. And Suki said, nobody really knows anything about you. You never talk about yourself.
Right. And so I think they kind of established, or at least gradually reveal that she kind of has a history as a military brat, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of grew up moving every few years.
Yeah.
That's kind of, what she's been comfortable doing. And, even though she's a very warm, caring person, she doesn't seem to reveal much and develop really close relationships with anyone that she's working with, because that would make sense, because you're packing up and leaving every few years, and that's what you get used to. And it's easier to do that if you aren't intimately involved with anyone.
Well, and that kind of conversation worked pretty well as far as the screenplay and getting them to bond with each other without it feeling skeevy.
Yeah.
Without him seeming kind of creepy or whatever. So I think that they did about the best that they could.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was very, very cute when he's talking to the baby.
Yeah.
He's like, I love you so much. That was endearing. It made you like him.
Yes. And I definitely relate. I remember when my first nephew was born, and how I just, completely fell in love with him right away. So I can relate.
The best part of being an uncle is I get to help.
Exactly.
It was really cute. It was very, very cute.
We'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the good folks at Aura Frames, and Aura's digital picture frames make the perfect holiday gift for the person that you are struggling right now to know what to get them. We all have those people on our gift list that are very difficult to shop for, but with Aura Frames, you can get them something that's personal, meaningful, and easy for you, which I think is the goal for any Christmas gift giving. Aura Frames, you can have unlimited free photos and videos. You just download the Aura app and connect to Wi-Fi. You can preload the photos before the frame ships, and you can keep adding from anywhere at any time. You can also personalize the gift with a message before it arrives, and every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. Don't wait, win the holidays now with Aura Frames. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code Hallmarkies at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Hallmarkies. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell it fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Hallmarkies. Terms and conditions apply.
And the other mom starts going in labor, and I forget who it was that says that he's terse.
Mm-hmm.
He can become terse when things become terse.
Yes.
Tense.
So he, with the nurse, I believe it's Lucy Walters, he kind of snaps at her breathing.
Yeah.
And he and she's a little upset with him, and he kind of admits to being, becoming more tense or terse when things kind of, become tense in his environment. And I remember when I was in residency, and I was on my obstetrics and gynecology rotation, and we had one of the doctors who's kind of specialized in like gynecological surgeries. He was really, really nice outside of the operating room.
Right.
Once he got into the operating room, he would always get very tense and very irritable. And that was just, and and you do see people like that, like when they're in that mode, and people, and of course, it's not just medical, field, but people who get like a little intense and can become irritable when they're like in that kind of environment where they feel like they're under a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And he says, you have to be human because you run into people. Exactly. And it's got to be hard too, because this is your everyday life working in this emergency room. But this is the hardest for most of these people. This is one of the hardest days of their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're in the emergency room, like that's a traumatic, almost inherently a traumatic experience. And so that's got to be a kind of an interesting battle that you have of like taking them seriously and not treating it like taking it as the emergency that it is, but then also like you couldn't live every single day at that like high, you'd have to kind of normalize it to some degree in order to not break down.
And so it's an interesting balance, because you want to validate, how the patient is feeling, but you also want to reassure them to agree, that you are competent and that you're able to manage it, and doing that in a way that doesn't downplay, how they're feeling. And that's something that I've had to learn how to do.
Yeah, I think that would be hard. I did like that they had the cute little conversation about their favorite Christmas movies, and I can't remember if it was her or him say Emma Daughter's Jug Band Christmas. I was like, I love, as a huge Muppet fan, I love that drop because that's a more obscure one.
Right? Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. I've heard Christmas Carol, which I love.
It's actually not that Christmassy. Now, most of the songs are just sort of general bluegrass songs, and most of the special, I think it's like 45 minutes, the special, Emma Daughter's Jug Band Christmas. Most of the special is just concerts. It's like there's like this talent show, and so of all these bluegrass otters and other people performing, other Muppets performing, and so it's really fun just to listen to the music. It's not that Christmassy. There is sort of a basic storyline of one of the otters trying to decide what presents to get, I think his mom and other family. And so there's a little bit, but not much. And but it's really fun because this was pretty early in Jim Henson's career, and it's just a real different aesthetic than what you see certainly in Sesame Street or some of those Muppet, because it's like grittier, it's dirtier, it's it's supposed to be this like bluesgrass. So it's kind of, as a Muppet fan, it's fun to see just this other side of Jim Henson and the Muppets. This was 1977. And I think the Muppet Show, I think the Muppet Show was 1978, but let me make sure.
It was definitely kind of the late 70s.
76. So the Muppet Show was 76. So so this was right at the beginning. Yeah.
Very, very early on. Okay.
Yeah. 76, and then Emma Daughter's was 77. And it's definitely worth a watch.
Okay.
Yes, it's 52 minutes. So and I just appreciate when they kind of dig a little deeper. To in these Christmas movies than your basic I think they did have a Die Hard reference at the beginning.
They said when she asked, she was like,
"Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?" Absolutely, it is a Christmas movie.
She said, wasn't it? Don't say Die Hard because to try to be combative or to to try to act like you're a real man or something.
Yeah.
Thing that she said about Die Hard. The one reference that I really liked was when Cardi Wong's character says that it's the Q word, and as soon as he says it, everybody's like, no, don't say that, you're gonna jinx us, because that is definitely something that we would say. We don't say the Q word, especially when you're on call. You don't say that.
Yeah. It was cute though it was cute when he was reading to the patient. Yes. Cardi.
And by Q word, everybody, I mean quiet. We don't say I shouldn't even say on call tonight.
Right. She says, everywhere I've worked, it's been at the right place at the right time, and that moving around works for her. Exactly. And then he says, but you won't be close to anybody. Mm-hmm. So Donna and her husband are, the pregnant woman comes in. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that if you are adopting a baby, I'm pretty sure that the birth mother sees your picture and would know who you are. And I don't know if they would have a picture of the birth mother, but I definitely think the birth mother would know who they are.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but yeah, I would think so, unless this was like, planned out between.
One of my former roommates, she's adopted a child, and now they're trying for second child. Mm-hmm. And they did like a whole video and stuff, mm-hmm. Introducing themselves to potential birth mothers. So I think there's almost no way that this woman wouldn't have known who they are.
Yeah. Unless, I don't know.
Yeah. That was the only thing. So I wrote down the other pregnant woman was the one with twins. Yeah. And so then the twins are born at this point. Mm-hmm. And the birth mom, she calls the hospital for guidance about contractions. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember if it was Brendan, but one of them says, the more babies, the merrier.
I think that's probably has to be Rachel's character, right?
And then he says at one point, I want someone who's going to level with me. And they said, go out with me and then leave town, which was cute. Like, yes. Hey, you're going to leave? Go on a date with me anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of like trying to hold that over our head, like, I won't go out with you unless you're staying, like, be like, sure, go out with me anyway. I thought that was cute.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how much of an impediment that would be for her going out of leaving town, not a date with him.
I mean, just for the first date, why not? I'd like to take a second to thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's Uncommon Goods. The countdown is on. Holiday shopping season is officially here. Uncommon Goods takes the stress out of gifting with thousands of unique, high-quality finds you won't see anywhere else. Don't wait. The most meaningful gifts get scooped up fast, and now is the perfect time to cross names off your list. What I really liked when I looked at their website is that you can go to the exact category of the person that you're shopping for. So you can look for gifts for women. And then in particular, they have a whole section for moms, for grandmas, for wives, for teenagers. And within each of those categories, there's all these creative ideas. And I had a lot of fun looking at the teen category. I have some nieces and different things that, would be fun to shop for. And I love the creativity in so many of the gifts. You've got create your own reel viewers. You've got a photo and label printer. I definitely think there is something for everybody, and it's worth checking out their site. And it's also nice that when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. Many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches, so shop now before they sell out this holiday season. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give back $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3.1 million to date. So don't wait. Cross those names off your list before the rush. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/Hallmarkies. That's uncommongoods.com/Hallmarkies for 15% off. Uncommon Goods. We're all out of the ordinary. They kept the Zoe, the birth mom, they kept taking away or not wanting to give her hot cocoa. I'm like, can pregnant women not have hot cocoa? What is going on with that? I would think maybe you might not want to have coffee because of the caffeine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, unless you're just really high risk or something. But, but yeah, I mean, the amount of caffeine that's in cocoa is,
minuscule.
Yes, and you can have a little caffeine as pregnancy. You just have to be careful about it. And,
sure.
So.
But then we have, so then he says, do you want to go or are you afraid to stay?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also sometimes you can't save them. So and that's another thing. Obviously, medical professionals have to, especially in an emergency room, like you'd have to learn how to mentally deal with that.
Exactly. Yes.
That would be really hard. We can hold on to loss and hope at the same time. Both. So that was a good line.
Yes.
It's true. And so then we find out the big reveal is that the pregnant woman is Donna's, is the birth mom. And I mean, that was obvious, but it was still sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still sweet.
I think they did a good job, in the scene of acting out, finding out, even though they were definitely throwing clues to the audience about.
Yeah. I also appreciate that we really didn't get any prolonged delivery scenes. I really didn't need that.
Yeah. This is Hallmark. We don't
Yeah, we all know what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they all sing First Noel, that was very sweet.
Yeah,
it was very nice. And the new baby is going to be baby Jacob.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then Santa's there, which was cute. He's dressed up as Santa.
Yes, and he was there earlier, and then he left, and then came back or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And then she says, "Nope, I'm staying put."
Yeah.
Because the thing is that obviously you want to do something that you find rewarding or that you at least moderately enjoy. That's the goal. But I think that so much of that enjoyment depends on who you're working with almost more than what you're doing in life. At least that's my life experience, that if I could be doing something really boring, and I have done many, 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 like the most boring spreadsheet. And if I'm there with people that are funny and pleasant and I enjoy, chatting and working with them, it's fine. Like, I'm happy. And maybe that's just my personality, but I think sometimes we get lost in this idea of the dream job, and that there will be a job that's so rewarding in and of itself that we will be a happy person, we will be a satisfied person. But at least most of the people I know, it's less about the dream job than it is about who am I working with, how am I contributing, how is this rewarding, is it pleasant, is it fun, do I get to occasionally go outside and breathe air, and you know what I mean? I think a lot of that stuff matters more than almost anything else. I would way rather have a very pleasant work environment and maybe make less money than an unpleasant work environment and make more money.
I think it depends for me. If I could do an unpleasant job making a lot of money if I had a good amount of time off where I could, engage.
Yeah.
That I could use the extra money to do other things that I liked.
I can see that. As if you had time to sort of to process it, you could kind of keep it in its spot.
Yeah.
But I do think that somehow that, like, to a certain extent, I think the idea of sort of the dream job is a bit of a millennial myth.
Probably.
That we were like sold that the most people I know get most of their sort of satisfaction and happiness in life from everything else, and then work is pleasant, is enjoyable, but it's not like the way that people used to talk when I was growing up, and I'm you too as well, but that was the ultimate thing. Like that, yes, if you wanted to have kids, if you wanted to have a family, sure, that's great. But as a woman, don't let that get in the way of your dreams. You know, that was sort of implied that like your dream job was like the ultimate satisfaction you would get in life. And at least in my life experience, I just don't think that usually is the case.
Yeah, I think, because I think, so many people would be spending the majority of maybe their time at work. And so you wanted to enjoy. Now, I think things have kind of shifted, and I think we are more about finding balance.
Yeah.
And so like you said, you want something that you enjoy, that you feel like you're doing something where you're able to contribute, even if it's not directly. It's something that you can, do that's, pleasant enough or whatever, and that, gives you enough so that you can, live comfortably and be able to do like your real passion or just, be with, a family, friends, or whatever the case may be. So I think it's about finding balance. For me, generally speaking, I think, to an extent, you're probably right. So like with my job, as a psychiatrist, the thing that, fulfills me the most is, seeing my patients, getting better. And so a lot of it is about the people that I'm working with, even if it's like, the clients or patients or whatever you want to,
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So I think that especially, I think the older you get, the more you want to try to find some kind of permanency in some way, like this keep continually moving. I guess in a sense that could be its own form of permanence, like it's amazing what you can get used to in life. But I think her staying put and finding a place where she gets along with the people, where she's happy, it felt like a happy end for her character.
Yes, I agree.
Didn't feel, because sometimes with Hallmark movies, especially the old school Hallmark movies, it was like, wow, she's giving up everything for the man in the country, like it didn't feel that way with this. It felt like, no, this is a good option. This is a happy option for her.
Because she definitely did seem happy in the community as she was. And she wasn't leaving because she was unhappy. She was leaving because that's what she did. And so getting to that time where she would normally move. And so and used to doing, and so she was going to do it again, just almost kind of out of habit or compulsion, rather than actually wanting to leave. Yeah.
What did you think of Brendan Penny, his performance in this?
He was fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did like him. His last few. I would say I really liked. So I liked him in what was the movie he did with Patty Murin. I like.
Yeah, that one. I really liked him in that as well. The is it not 'Tis the Season? I really like it. Why am I not thinking of it? The In Merry Measure.
Yes, so I loved him in that.
Yeah.
And I also really liked him in the movie with Aaron Krakow as well.
Oh yeah, The Wedding Cottage. I liked that too.
Yes.
Yeah, he has had a pretty good run. Because there was a while there where he was a little smug for me. I didn't really like a lot of his roles, but the last few, I mean, and of course he got to play the angel Gabriel in Providence Falls.
Yes, and
That was fun.
role in Merry Christmas, Ted.
Oh yeah, Ted Cooper. Yeah, that was really funny. He's like, he was perfect for that sort of cocky anchor.
Yes,
that was really funny. But yeah, so he's been doing well.
Yeah, and so, I mean, this movie was fine, and I thought he was fine in this movie as well. But, obviously it's not even among his movies, it's not my favorite, but I liked it,
and like I said, I think that they did what they could to build the chemistry, given the fact that they had to also be coworkers. So there was just a limit to what they could do.
And it was over the course of one day.
Yeah, in one day, you're right. Yeah.
Develop a relationship so much.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, so it was fine for what it was. Yeah. But like I said, I did like them meet cute, and I liked that initial scene when they both arrive at the hospital. And meet his sister.
Yeah. So what would you give it, you think, out of 5 crowns?
3.5.
I agree. Same with me. I give it 3.5. And it was I'd watch it again. It was pleasant. I enjoyed it. So let us know what you think. Did you like it? What was your favorite things about it? We'd love to hear it in the comments section. And I think this is the last of our Thanksgiving recaps. So we did it.
I didn't expect to.
I haven't aired them all yet. That's why. But I have recorded them.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think this is the last one. But yeah. So hopefully you all enjoyed all of the recaps. Let us know what you think of all of them. I would really appreciate it. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. Also, I've been hosting KSL Movie Show since July, and I would really appreciate any support on that front. Checking out it's every Friday morning at 11 Mountain, but they have a podcast version. So I would love if people check that out and let them know they enjoy hearing me on the pod, hearing me on the show. That's been awesome. But make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That really, really helps us a lot. It's a free thing that you can do to help the podcast and more people to find us, the more reviews we have. So that would be amazing. And also, if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate that so much. We're really trying to get to 10K subscribers by the end of the year. We would love that. So please take a look. And we have our Patreon group, which Thaddeus is a member of. And we have monthly Patreon activities. We had Zach Hug on for a watch along. Who was the writer of this. We're having this month, we're going to have Nina Weinman back. We have watch-alongs, Q&As, and now you can listen to every episode of the podcast, both podcasts, ad-free on the Patreon. So that's a cool perk that we just started this fall. So there's lots of good perks for being a Patreon member. So please check it out. I'd sure appreciate it. And then we have our merch store where we have tons of fun holiday designs. We have fun Hallmark inspired designs. We've got movie and theater inspired designs. So check that out. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to y'all later. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.